Hey, what's up, guys? This is Worse. This is Trav and Colin.
It's me as always.
Today we're going to be reviewing the 1966, I believe it was, Jungle Book, the old classic Walt Disney, the last film Walt Disney worked on.
Wait a second. So, whoa. Were you asleep during tonight's showing?
Like, really, bro?
We were watching 2016's Jungle Book by Jon Favreau. Where were you? Asleep? Just asleep, licking.
My bad.
Are you alone out here? What are you doing so deep in the jungle? Let go of your fear now. And trust in me.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Worse, and this is Trav
That's me as always.
and Colin,
Hey, guys.
comic book extraordinaire.
Which is irrelevant today because we're talking about Jungle Book
By
by Jon Favreau. We just got through watching it. This was first night of release. General thoughts, guys. First impressions?
I guess I'll go first this time. I definitely enjoyed it, and I mean, it's stunning film. It's very beautifully made. They took their time. The CGI, I mean, 95% of this movie is CGI. I mean, the kid that plays Mowgli, I forgot the dude's name. He is really the only human actor in this. I mean, everything else is CGI animals. But I mean,
Which is very impressive. Gorgeous.
Oh yeah. And I definitely, usually when there's a lot of CGI, if it's done poorly, it can take you out of the movie. But, like, through the entire thing, I believe that they were real animals. They looked real, and they acted real. Like, yeah, they talked, and they sang, some of them sang. But, like, when it comes down to it, they look and sound like real animals. They really did a good job. I mean...
Yeah, when it comes and speaking on the animals, the casting is probably one of the best live action remakes of an animated movie probably ever. I mean, first of all, Idris Elba as Shere Khan is fantastic.
Yeah,
people know him as that one guard guy in Thor for the door or whatever, which I thought was funny because he's blind in that too, isn't he? He's got the eyes.
Possibly.
No, I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyway, he is Shere Khan, and he does a fantastic job. He doesn't play the sort of jokesy Shere Khan. He's very serious and very,
threatening.
Very threatening, and you believe it because that's how I feel a tiger would be if it talked, especially if it's hunting a
human child.
Yeah, and that's not a spoiler because if you've seen the animated movie, you know.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that, it follows the animated movie to the T. I mean, not everything is but it's not supposed to be. It's like a longer version of the animated movie, 2 hours compared to 1 hour and 5 minutes.
And they really mix some intense stuff in this film too. They still keep the Disney charm in there, but they really scale it up. I mean, when Shere Khan is hunting him throughout the movie, you can tell. It's really they really make it epic and all the major beats, all the good stuff that made the animated film so good, they really hit in this movie.
Like I said, Shere Khan, we have Bagheera, Bill Murray was fantastic.
Yeah, Bill Murray did a good job.
Yeah,
they did a good job picking him.
He plays Baloo so well. Because of the jokes, because of the humor, he's what brings comedy to this movie. Because it's such a serious movie, and you get that breath of fresh air with comedy. Any more thoughts, Colin, on
Scarlett Johansson is Ka, even though it's a very small segment. That's really, I'll go into my own... It's not really a gripe, it's just something I wish that there would have been more of. I really wish that they would have shown Ka more, because... The time they did show her, the time they did show her, she was like they did a really good job. I mean, and it was
Creepy.
Yeah, it was really creepy. They did a good
Really
job
creepy.
making it creepy, and she had a really good voice. And you know, in the original, Ka was played by a guy, but in this, I mean, to me, I mean, it fits for a woman to play the snake. It fits in my opinion. So I thought it was a welcome change. But
Ka was in the original movie several times, so I did kind of miss that. That is a negative with me as well. I feel like there are more negatives, but just as a full warning, like here in a few minutes or however long it takes, we're going to go into a spoiler discussion at the very end of this video. So anybody that's watching this is no spoilers right now, but we will warn you when there's going to be spoilers because there's some stuff that I have to say that is my negatives, but it's spoiler filled. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it because this is the first weekend for the movie. Any more? I mean, the CGI is fantastic. It's a gorgeous movie. I remember Ryan, like, when you see the waterfall at the beginning, he's like, oh, man. Like, it looked really good. And, like, I was just like, wow, like...
I bet this movie in IMAX would have been...
Yes, it would have.
Yeah,
There was a moment with Ka where it was, like, even in 2D, that was 3D. Like, it felt very 3D. And I was just like, wow, that would have been amazing in 3D or IMAX 3D or whichever. Christopher Walken. What can you say about the man? I'll tell you one thing. That was his face on a monkey. Like, that literally, like, when you see his face, I was just like, that is awesome. And everything he said, we were cracking up, like, just, wow, this is... Because, you know, everyone's got their own jokes about Christopher Walken, how he talks and all this. You know, like, yeah, just... And what I really liked about, like, because when you see him, you kind of believe he's the king of that temple. I mean, you do, because they made him really ginormous, like, and he's just an orangutan, even though they are really, really big creatures. But I was trying to, like, think in my head, okay, so an adult human standing to that wouldn't seem as big, but to this kid and all these smaller monkeys, he is ginormous, and he is a king of the jungle. And I mean, his ego is.
Yeah.
But what I really liked about it is, like, when he throws all those golden fruits, I forgot what they're called.
He calls them pawpaw,
which I told Ryan, like, I've never had one of those. I've seen them around, but it represented gold, is what I noticed. Like, he threw them all to all the monkeys. There's just a bunch of his gold, which would obviously be food for monkeys that can talk, because they cherish it and all this. And he gives food to the ones that, this isn't spoiling it, but he gives food to the ones that he wants to. He's a king. He rules over them. And you really feel that. And, like, you know, they made any animal, and this will just go into what else... Any animal that is supposed to be really big in this movie, it's sort of like how they did... this is very whatever, but Gareth Edwards, what he did with Godzilla, how he made everything so ginormous. Like, the way they shoot it and everything. They make every animal that's supposed to be big. The elephants, like... You're scared because they're very intimidating, and so it was the orangutan. I felt very intimidated, even though it's Christopher Walken and he's hilarious. But
yeah,
I loved the role.
And his singing had a lot to be desired. That was I hate to say
a little awkward.
I hate to say another pet peeve, but like that part was really uncomfortable to sit through. I don't like singing in movies unless the people can sing and he can't.
Ryan, what did you think about that part? You said you really liked King Louis singing part.
Now, the only reason why I say that I for one, it's Christopher Walken appearing as a role, and he's not one of my favorite actors. I'm not going to say that, but he's one of the funniest actors working today. And I mean, just realizing what I'm seeing in front of me,
I think that was the point. To me, that was the point. Like, he can't sing. No. He's a king that is like has this big ego, and he can't sing. That's kind of the point. That's kind of the point to me. That was
guess
the point.
so. I don't know.
Even though it was a little awkward, I did enjoy, because I was just like, you know, I'm waiting on those backup singers too, and I'm like, oh, the monkeys are gonna chime in, and at least they didn't do that. At least they didn't do like a weird, all the monkeys chime in and everything. And that whole part, without spoiling it, is fantastic. The way like it kind of changes. It's obviously the movie has differences than the animated movie, but I love Baloo's part in that. Like, I'm not gonna say what happens, but I love Blue's part in that. So let's go with Colin first. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give The Jungle Book?
I'll give it about a 9.5, except for that little cringeworthy part and a little bit more of Ka. Like, that was really the only thing I had a problem with, but I mean, throughout the entire thing, I felt it nailed like the right amount of epicness and staying true to the original one, and I walked out happy. It was good. I really enjoyed it. I give it a 9.5.
Ryan?
Apart from originally, I was kind of questioning the marketing, making it seem like a really dark film. I was just like,
yeah, you weren't too.
I was like, what are they gonna do to one of my favorite childhood movies? And I walked out happy too. Like, I'm a true confessor that I loved this movie through and through. Like, I don't know if I even have any negative, like how you have the con. Those aren't really negatives to me at all. So it's like, I can't hardly really think of many negatives, but the casting is great. Bill Murray is one of my favorite actors, no question, and he's playing one of my favorite animated characters of all time. That was a pleasure to watch. And yeah, I mean, anyone they casted in this was awesome, and it really felt like going back to 60s characterization, which I really love. I mean, where characters are larger than life, and these actors, like, I mean, with help of CG, were amazing. I mean, like, it was really a marvel to watch. I mean, I think I'll just go for a flat 10 out of 10.
Ooh,
that's good.
Nice. For me, I loved the movie from the start. Right when it starts, you're like, man, this is going to be good.
Very true to the original.
Yeah, very
Just
true to the
true,
original.
like,
Jon Favreau, you've done it. I loved your first Iron Man movie, Iron Man 2. Yeah. But you are a good director, and I cannot wait to see what you do in the Disney world. Hey, spin-off Star Wars film, maybe. Anyway, yeah, my rating, like I said, I enjoyed this movie. I love the casting. It's a spectacle. You're watching, you're watching a spectacle. You're watching an adventure in front of your eyes, and, rather you see it in IMAX, 2D, whatever, you're going to enjoy yourself. For anybody out there that wants to go and take the kids for a good time, go ahead and do that. The only negative I have about that is don't let your kids kick the back of people's seats, because that's what I had to deal with. Just saying, please be respectful to people that are in front of you. Anyway, I loved it. Man, now that you've given it a 10, I really want to do that, but I'm kind of like on that fence of... Yeah, I'll give it the 10 out of 10. I give it a stamp of approval. I really enjoyed this movie. So fair warning, that wraps up the non-spoilers review on this, so anybody out there that doesn't want to be spoiled, leave now. Thanks for sticking around. We love you. Now we're going to go into the spoiler version of this review, so you have been warned. So who wants to go first on the spoiler discussion?
I think I'll go first.
Right.
The first big thing, or it's not really a big thing, he was saying it was on the cusp of spoilers, is in the original movie, like in the animated film, the elephants were military. They were like...
I expected a marching song to happen.
Thank God they didn't. Thank God. But in the live action film, they actually, all the animals respect the elephants. They're almost like gods to them. They really are. They like Bagheera
told them to bow while they walked by.
Yeah, show respect.
I didn't expect
that. and he has like this big legend, as wise as he is, about like what they do, and they're very highly respected, and even Shere Khan respects them, and that's saying something. Yeah. They're really, like, they really make them mystical in a way, and that has to do with Indian culture, culture in India. Elephants are really highly regarded in that culture. So I like that they stuck to that, because this isn't in Africa. This takes place in India. So I like that they did that, and good job, John, putting that in there. And I think another spoiler that I'll let them talk about it too. I'll address them. Is the ending climax of the film was different than a little different. Not too much, but they added more to it.
They added more, but cut stuff off. Cut stuff out of the movie.
Yeah, they definitely they made it. In my opinion, they made it more epic. I got a bit of. There's a little bit of almost every jungle Disney movie that they've made in this film. There's a stampede chase. where there's a herd of, it's not wildebeest, it's buffalo, and he of course, like, there's a bunch of them, and Shere Khan is chasing Mowgli, and he gets away from him, and that gave me a very strong Lion King vibe. You know, fingers crossed they do a live action Lion King. I hope. Yeah, I hope. And the other thing, like I said, was the climax of the film. He, like, all the animals team up and basically try to stop Shere Khan, and they try to hold him off. And
I was scared that, like, Mowgli and Shere Khan wouldn't have a good one-on-one moment, and it did, like, the whole Mowgli gets away and then Shere Khan chases him up, which, man, I didn't know tigers could climb a tree like that. I know it's CGI and all that, but I'm sure they based it off actual animal actions and what they can do.
No doubt.
And yeah, that he got up there, and I was like, this is, yeah, like he said, really epic. You get an epic vibe of, like, how is it, you know, I knew that Mowgli was going to try to trap him so that the branch would break and all this. What Colin said is he didn't expect the tiger to die. I kind of actually sensed, you know, they're probably going to change it where he actually falls in the fire, but we kind of don't know that he does. I mean, he screams or whatever, but I mean, he could have, you know, ran off. We don't know. Like, the guy behind us was like, oh, he might come back in Jungle Book 2, like, or something like that. And, you know, I don't know. That was kind of fun. I mean, you get the feel that he died. But yeah, I really liked that climax. It was really epic. I felt the anger, you know, when he's, like, talking about his dad and the dad he never knew or whatever. And he just, you know, Shere Khan is very cruel, like, with what he says, and like I said, Idris Elba.
And not to mention the stuff with the kids, like when he's very seductive as well. He's not just,
he was telling them horror stories.
Basically, he's got all these, like,
kids.
they show back and forth between what Mowgli's doing and but, like, back with what the animals are doing. And basically, he comes in kind of like Scar. That was another thing I kind of got was in The Lion King. Scar comes in after Mufasa's dead and basically takes over. And that's basically what Shere Khan did. And, I mean, and he basically
killed the head wolf, and I did not expect that. Like, whatsoever. I figured, like, they would kind of talk it out a bit or whatever, and then, like, he just throws him off the mountain. Like,
and you know. I kind of laughed, but I felt sad that he basically just disrespects him. Like, he's sitting on top of his rock or whatever, and Shere Khan just comes up and chills. Like, I mean, like...
And they sit together as if they've, you know, I feel, you know, you get the feeling they've known each other a long time. So it's kind of, you know, and so, yeah, I mean, did you feel like his death was, like, kind of took away, or what's your beef with that? Like,
I feel like it was a good motivation for Mowgli to come back, because, like I said, I felt a lot of...
Well, I meant the wolf. The chief wolf.
Oh, you mean him dying?
Yes.
Oh, I really thought it was over a little too quickly. I think it would have been kind of, which, I mean, then again, then again, they would have had to do a PG-13 rating. That's honestly, I wish they would have done a PG-13 rating. It would have been cooler to have them fight and have him kill him, but to just take him out like that, I felt was a little quick. But I mean, it's a PG movie, so I mean, what are you gonna do? So,
well, I personally liked it just because it added, like, conflict with, like, the other animals that know Mowgli and keeping that secret from him. Because, like, even Louie had found out about it, because I guess he's the king of the jungle and he finds out things probably from his monkeys or whatever. But anyway, I thought the death was really, like, it kind of needed that. It needed someone important to die to, like, push Mowgli over the edge. And, like, there's it's something I didn't talk about in the non-spoilers part of this. There is an amazing conflict all through, like, where it's just, you get the feel of conflict, epicness, and like he said, you believe that these animals are talking, and that there's a real conflict with it. It's a story, and it develops really well. But that's not spoilers or non-spoilers, but anyway, one big thing that I want to talk about before we end this is the vultures didn't make an appearance. And
they were in it, but they didn't talk.
All the characters, well, where were they in the movie then?
No, they were like, you could see them, like you could see them flying, and like they land and stuff in certain parts, and you see like maybe one shot of them.
I don't really count that if they didn't say anything. It could have just been any vulture.
I'm saying there were vultures,
which not all the animals talk. They like some of them don't talk, but I don't.
Some of them Because that one little lemur thing or whatever is just like, do you have a language? And he just kind of just like made an animal noise. And yeah, I mean that made it feel more grounded, like it's trying to be.
He can't understand all the animals. He can't understand them all.
So it's like trying to be like, oh, these animals speak English for some reason, but it's because Mowgli understands them, which is cool. It's a cool vibe you get. But yeah, the vultures, I don't know. And on top of that, it makes it because it's around the same moment in the animated movie. Is like I figured like, hey, they would have a moment with as soon as Shere Khan like bit Baloo and he went down. I was like, okay, they're gonna have a touching moment. But then he wakes up and Bill Murray say like a big joke like, hey, where you going, Tiger? Like, it would have been funny as heck. But then Bagheera was just like, oh, you did good, and he gets just up. I don't know. Like, I really wanted to see the live action version of that. Like, I don't know. Like, that's my biggest gripe of what was left out of this movie. But then I don't hate change. I love that. I kind of like that they did that, but I don't at the same time. It's like they changed it so that it wasn't cliche and copying the animated movie, but also doing all these different similarities all through. It was like pretty much the same way things happen as this, like King Louis, his temple collapses on him, just like the other one. So I liked the changes, and some of them I didn't. So that's just
one more spoiler before we wrap things up that we didn't touch on yet is the ending. The very end of the film is different, and honestly, I like this ending more because I always wanted this. I always wanted this to happen in the actual movie. He stays in the jungle, and I like that. I mean, that's where he wants to be.
Anymore. Shere Khan's gone. So
yes, I mean that's where he wants to be. So like, I like that they did that.
That was like probably the biggest complete flip between the animated movie and this. Is he doesn't go to the man village at the end, and I'm kind of glad because I didn't really want some girl looking all cute for him and like all that, and he had to be like, well, like what's that? It's a woman. What's a woman? Anyway, Ryan, any other likes or dislikes in the spoiler territory before we wrap it up? Because you haven't said much.
For me, well, I mean, the only reason I haven't really said much is because in the way of the spoilers, like likes and dislikes. I mean, like you said, you love change, but you don't like some stuff. I loved every single change in the film. Yeah. Like I didn't, and I mean, I didn't think I'd be like that at all. Like I didn't,
every minute of
like
the movie.
I enjoyed it all, and I mean, all the stuff I changed. I mean, that changed, especially with the very end. I'm just like, man, he better stay in the jungle, and that happened. I mean, that was the only thing in spoiler territory that I really was like, yeah, that they did that well, like that. Just
and we had a nice moment where he was like right there, close to the village. And so that was cool. Like we get to see like the other people, and he's like, and I love like the symbolism of like fire being this like red flower thing. Like it's
its own character.
Yeah, that was in the book. That was in the book. In the original book by Rudyard Kipling, that was actually what they called it in the book. So they stuck to that really well, and I mean, of course, they do that in pretty much almost all versions of it. Not every version, but they call it that. So I'm glad that they stuck to that. But I think overall, I think you can all pretty much tell we all
enjoyed this movie.
We all really did, and it's a great movie. I'm definitely going to buy this. I'm definitely going to add it to my shelf.
I'm definitely looking forward to anything Favreau gets his hands on Disney-wise because he does really well. And this gets me kind of excited to see what Tarzan's going to be like. And if there is somehow a Jungle Book sequel, I'm excited for that too. I don't know how they would do that. I guess just like make up a new story. There is a Jungle Book 2, the animated one. So I mean, I don't know.
You got a plethora.
I feel like it's probably gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be its own movie and stay that way. But if they do get a sequel, I will be happy. So we'll see.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. This was our review on the
Jungle Book 2016.
Brand new Jungle Book, not the old one.
Get it right this time.
Definitely go and see this if you.
I mean, it was awesome. Like,
take your kids if you have kids; they'll enjoy it. There was kids galore in our theater.
A little too much.
A little too many kids kicking my seat and crap. But gotta love kids. No, you don't.
Wow.
But
harsh.
Yeah.
Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you have seen this, let us know in the comments what you thought of the movie. And there you go.
Thanks, guys.
I'll probably just have the poster for like a long time, and then like, oh my bad, or I don't know.
But you gotta get the record scratched, man. You gotta get the.
I can't wait. I can't wait to do it.